we're going to learn about gzip. In a Windows environment, there is a concept called zip, right? You could zip the file. If the file is huge, you could zip it for compression. Gzip is used for zipping file and compressing it. And it adds the extension .gz. Okay, so everybody go ahead and copy that file. Actually, hold on, let me make that file even bigger. If you do du temp assignment, the size of the file is 28 megabits, right? Yeah. Let me make that file even bigger. Let's see.
Head north.
Okay, the size of the file is about 271 megabytes here, okay? So everybody go ahead and copy that file. If you have anything in your, just remove everything there. rm-rf asterisk from your own home directory and copy the file here. Can somebody help me? How would I copy that file?
cp hyphen the path.
Okay, good. And what do I do?
Enter. Hit enter. No. The
Destination, right?
destination. Sorry.
So I want to copy in my own own home directory. So there would be period.
Period.
Yeah. So if you do pwd and if you run this command cp temp assignment and space a period, that means I told you period means present working directory. Everybody
Yes.
agree with that?
Yes. Period denotes that.
And then see, it's copying. If I do ls, I should have a file in my own pwd. So everybody go ahead and do that. So there is a file name assignment. If I do ls-l,
Actually, I deleted everything. So
I'm sorry, what happened?
I deleted everything, whatever I did, the assignment. I thought we are gonna learn something new, so I didn't
Yeah,
know
okay.
that we
No,
were-
you're not, copy the assignment file. Don't get confused here. I'm asking you to copy the assignment file.
Yeah, but No search file or directory. It's showing.
Did you delete the assignment file?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I didn't know that we are gonna work on that.
No, it's there here. Just wherever you are in your home directory, just type the exact command like this here, the way you see it on my screen. cp space / temp. Well, I did tell you to delete everything in your home directory. Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
but it's showing me cannot find no such file or directory.
What are you typing?
I did the same thing you did.
So put the picture in the
Okay.
chat, please.
She forgot to type N in assignment. That's why it's not working.
Yeah. So don't. I told you many times. If you have partially typed in, use the tab key. Okay. Do cp space / temp, then do tab, and type a and do tab. That way you will never have an error. Is it working?
Nope.
Is it working or no?
No, it's not.
Okay. Just type cp
Mm-hmm.
/t and then push the tab key on the keyboard.
Okay.
So temp will autofill it for you. Once you see that, then push A as in Apple and push the tab key again. It will autofill it for you. Then a space, then a period. And hit enter, it should copy.
Hey, Mr. Zafar, one quick question.
Yeah.
Did you start the recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good, because I might need to go back to it later.
Yeah. Are you okay now or you need more help?
No, it's still not working at all. Okay. You wrote my name wrong.
Oh, you're typing WC. Or what are you typing? Okay, type CP, give a space and a /, then T as in tango, push the tab key on the keyboard. There is a tab key on the keyboard on the left side right above the caps lock.
Yeah, I did.
And then just type A as in apple and then push the tab key again. And then a period.
It's not working.
Is it working?
I'm just. It's not. It's saying the same thing again and again.
Okay, yeah, don't worry. I just copied it to your file here, so I'm not sure what is the error there. All right, let's move forward. If you do ls here, ls in your place, you should see the file there now. So everybody,
Yeah, I did.
you should have a file there, assignment 04. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna, you see the size of the file here, right? du assignment, give me 1 second here. So if you do du -h and then assignment, you see the file size is 271 megabytes. It's a big size file, okay? If it's a text file when it comes to 200 megabytes, it's pretty big. Yes, counting the lines here. Let me see how many lines I have here. Okay, so how many lines is this? Is it 2 million lines? Yeah, right now I have 2 million lines in this file here, and it's 271 megabytes. If this would have been a Word document, it would have been like maybe in gigabytes, okay? But since Linux is there, it's only in 271 megabytes. Now what I want to do is I want to even further compress it, okay? So the command to do is gzip. So what you do is gzip space assignment 04 and hit enter. So it's taking a minute or two, not a minute or two, it's taking a little bit of time. It normally doesn't take that long. But I think a lot of people are doing, all of you are doing now, so that's why it's doing it. Okay, so it took some time, probably a minute, and it came back and then it's saying it's done. So it's not giving you any error message, that means it's done. So now if you do ls -l, just do ls here. So you see the file has an extension here .gz. That means it's a zip file. And if you do du -h assignment 4.gz, and it has reduced it from it's 10th of the size here, so it reduced it from 271 megabits to 17 megabits. Any questions?
Yeah, Professor,
Yes.
This is a comment. So I try to do like to compress the file, but it said operation not permitted.
What do you type?
I just type a gzip assignment and -04. They said assignment. It said operation not permitted.
Well, do ls in your home directory and tell me what you see.
Okay. Oh, now I can see now. I can see assignment -04.gz.
Yeah.
I can see the
Don't keep running that. Don't keep running that command. You don't are supposed to. You done it once, then check it. That's where
All right.
ls and pw comes handy. If you run something and you don't see anything on the screen, don't run that command again. Make sure you run ls and make sure it's coming up before you take other actions.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Okay, now you see the difference here, right? The size of the difference is 271 megabytes. It's been reduced to 71 megabytes. All the content is still saved in here, but it's just compressed. So let me do 271 divided by 17. So it reduced the size of the file 15 times. 15 times the original size. So you could imagine, how good this is, okay? I use this all the time here. Sometimes there may be a file which is actually going into gigabytes or terabytes if it's a database server. So you use your Linux skills to manage those files. Okay, now, so let me put this in here.
Hey, Mr. Zafar, I have a question.
Yeah.
So this whole process of zipping the file, what does it do on the back end? Like, how does it make the file smaller?
It's an operating system. The
It
Linux
just
operating system does it.
okay.
So those things you have to understand on a cluster level. So if you do this here, yeah, I mean, those are like a real. So what it does is, whenever you're writing something to the file or in the hard drive, what it does it will just imagine if you're writing something. Just imagine as a big room, right? You just want to place something in the big room. It's not just organized. You're just bringing some boxes and throwing it in there. It just wherever it just randomly writes on the disk here. So when you do gzip, what it does is it recollects the file and then organizes it, and then also at the same time it compresses it. I really don't have good knowledge how exactly those things work, but I could just tell you it just organizes it and then compresses it. Okay. I mean,
Thank you.
the technology we have in the human's hand is pretty advanced, very very advanced. There's a lot of things we are doing, in the modern life compared to. I mean, you have like a self-driving cars and everything. I mean, all those things we're using the technology that the humans have created. It's talking about defragmentation. maybe you could type in how zip how so you type how zip file works. It's not telling you the. Okay, let's see what this means. It just no, this is not what it is, but in a nutshell, just understand that's what you have in there. Okay, just it compresses it for you. It makes your life easier. So here okay, so now you see, I don't have to keep repeating this, but you could definitely see the difference here. Okay, now okay, so if you cat the file, it's not readable. Okay, the reason it's not readable is it's probably scrambling it and it's into binary. So my system is not able to handle binary. So what you want to do is you have the file here and you see .gz. You want to unzip it so that you could start using the file. How do you unzip it? Gunzip, Gunzip. That's the command and name of the file. And hit
Hey,
enter.
Mr. Zafar, how do we stop the thing from going crazy?
Control C.
Control C? Okay.
You have to Control C couple of times. Okay. So I used Gunzip to get rid of the compression and get rid of the extension. So what it did was it brought you back the original name and the original size of the file.
So when we go back to the file, then it's going to be again those many megabytes, 271, right?
Correct, yeah. It restores it back to the original file.
So isn't it going to be hard again to work then in such a big file? It's going to be all unorganized again?
It's gonna, I mean, don't take my word on the how it's doing it on the granular level, but that is what my understanding is. Like it just unfolded, take it out, and then start using that file. I mean, if you're not using something, you just put it back. For example, your kid have a toys, and you put it back into the box and then put it away, right? And if you want to use it, you take it out of the box and, I suppose it's scattered all over. So that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is using the size 271 megabytes now, rather than 17 megabytes. So
if
big
you want to
corporation,
work in the
they
files, you cannot work in the compressed file.
say that again.
If you want to work, you cannot work in the compressed file.
No, you cannot work in a compressed file. No. You have to extract it. I mean, you probably have done this compression and extraction in the Windows environment, right? Zip file and unzip file. It's the same exact concept here.
Professor,
Yeah.
okay. So what is the difference between gzip and tar?
gzip and star?
And tar like TAR.
I'm coming
Is
there.
the comment
You jumping
is
the
a
gun.
comment to, I'm sorry?
You jumping the gun. That's the next topic.
Okay. Okay, thanks, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope everybody's getting the concept. So the gun zip. It simple is that unzips and uncompresses the file. Removes the .gz extension. Restores to original form. Okay. Very simple. Nothing to sweat about, okay? There is nothing in this world you have to sweat about. It's nice, simple, and easy. I recently learned a phrase. The more you sweat in peace, the less is you're gonna bleed in the battle. Okay? So I wrote it down. I'm gonna keep that phrase for the rest of my life. I really like it. What it really means is if you plan for the battle, the more you plan for the battle, the less you're gonna bleed, okay? That's what it is. So the humor of the comment is, practice. As much you practice, makes you perfect, and you won't have a second thought when you're really doing it in the real world environment, okay? And don't worry, all these commands, these are same exact command I'm using it. I wish I could show you the system I'm working, but I cannot show you that. But here's the thing here. This is same exact operating system. This is same exact black window. I'm typing in and day out. Same exact things. Nothing is different. Okay, now the command, next command is tar, T-A-R. So why do we use tar? Tar is for the folders. It converts the folder to a single file and adds .tar extension. And it does not compresses it. It does not compress or reduce the size of the and also it keeps the original folder as is, but it creates another file with .tar extension. Okay, now let's do this here. Everybody go ahead and create a folder, mkdir, and give it a name big folder. If you do ls, there should be a folder name in there, right? Big folder. Go ahead and copy this file in there. cp assign, actually move the file, mv assignment, and then move it to big folder. If you do ls, there shouldn't be anything in there. It just says big folder. And then go into big folder, and if you do ls, there should be one file in there. Then go ahead and create a couple more files in there. Touch file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. Okay, and if you do ls, you should have like 5 files in there, including the assignment 04. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my home directory. I do pwd. I'm back to my home directory. And if I do ls, I only have one file in there, one folder in there. It's called big folder. So what I'm going to do is I need to compress the entire folder, right? So I cannot do using gzip. First you have to make a single file out of big folder, and once that file is there, then you're gonna compress the file using gzip again. Everybody with me so far? is really important here. You need to understand this here. So
Yes, sir. We hear.
clear ls. So I have a folder named big folder. Now I'm going to use is tar, tar. Okay, and then space. So before that, let's see what tar commands we have to use some switches here. So tar -c is Unix. Okay, so I'm gonna see. Okay, so I'm gonna use C in the tar. Tar -c, and then I'm gonna use V. V is for verbose. Not G. There are many functions in there, so okay, let's get out of this. Let's see what F stands for. Okay, over here it's kind of giving you the example CVF. This is the standard. We're gonna use CVF, okay? Tar CVF. But I want to see what F stands for.
What does man stand for?
Yeah. For now, ignore it. I'm saving it for the last end of the session, because I have to show you end of the not the session, end of the basic commands what man is for. Okay. I will definitely tell you what man is for. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, -F. F means archive. Use archive file or device archive. If this option is not given, tar will first examine the environment variable. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say tar hyphen C means create, V means verbose. I'll tell you what verbose means. -F, and then I'm gonna give the name of the file, then a .tar, and then this one here. So this is the source and destination. So it's creating right here. So let me annotate here. So this is a command. C is create. V stands for verbose. I'll show you. Verbose is something which is like happening. It will show you what files it is, what file it is adding to the tar file. And here F means over here archive. I don't want to use archive word here. I want to use F. Just understand F means it's a folder. Now over here is kind of reverse here. This is a destination. And this part is a source. So this is the source. Okay, so you want to grab the folder. The reason we are using tar is we have to use it for the folder. Why? Because the folder has more than one file in it. Okay, does it make sense? Okay. Okay, let me get rid of this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter. The file is going to stay as is, but it's going to create another file called big folder.tar. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit enter. So you see, this is the verbose part here. It's telling what is happening here. So it did an adding file 04. It took it took assignment 04 a little bit of time before it went to file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. Why? Because assignment 04 is a big file. Okay. So now if you do ls here, you should have two files here, the original folder and then the folder with the file. So now this is kind of a tar ball. There's what is it called is tar. And if you do du-h, the size of this Now you see, okay, you can't see the size of a folder. Over here is showing the size of the folder here, not the content of the size here. But if you see, if you run ls-ld, then you could see ls-ld in the folder. du-h. Okay, and then if you do du-h big folder dot tar, so they both have same size. Okay, the size is not going to matter. Size is not going to change for the tarball, but this is considered a file. This is manageable as a single file. If you could want to move this, you don't have a headache of moving a folder. You could move this as a tarball and then send it out. It's easier to manage this rather than sending a folder, right? Would you agree? Sending, if you're
So-
shipping, yeah, go ahead.
Question. So when we send this as a file and they need to read it, they would have to untar it then?
Untar
How
it,
we
yes.
unzip?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
very good catch. It's little complex. It sounds complex, but it is not. But if you just practice it a little bit, then you will get it. Okay, this part is verbose. C -v. This is the verbose part actually. Verbose is you could actually see which file is, what is happening. I mean, which file is being added. Okay, so I don't like the color here. Let me change the color. This part is called verbose. Verbose means you could actually, it will show you the output, which file is being added to the tarball. Not specific to this command. Verbose means in general terms, you could get to see what is actually happening. Okay, that's what verbose means. Everybody with me so far? It is not very complex, guys. I mean, don't sweat too much about this. It's just easy, but a little bit. You just have to understand it, how this is happening, and you just don't really have to worry about it. Just blindly use CVF each time. Whenever you need to use, just use CVF. Okay. Now, if you want to compress this file, what are you going to do? Common.
Yes, sir.
gzip.
Yeah, gzip. big folder .tar. It will automatically add .tar. .tar is already there. Then it will add another .gz. See, if you do ls-l, so you do ls, you see it .gz. Let's do du-h. There you go. It reduced the size to 17 megabytes. But this time that folder has other files in it too. I'm just showing you that folder has our big file as well as other small files in there. The idea behind this is you're just using the folder for multiple files. Okay, so now I'm gonna say you can compress using the you can compress tar file using gzip. Now what you want to do is, if you want to untar it, what you could do is you untar. Is it untar or utar? Let me see.
So, Mr. Zafar, we can untar the whole zipped file, or we have to first unzip it?
No, you have to gunzip it first. Very good.
Okay.
Gunzip. You do gunzip big folder.tar. It's gonna unzip it from there, and it has the file lsfnl. Then what you're gonna do is untar. The command is tar -xvf. Now this time, so what you might have to do is, when you untar it, is going to remove the .tar extension here, right? So it may get it in conflict with the original folder. So what you have to do is you have to give the original folder the older name, different name. Let me clear the screen for you. You have two files here. I want to untar it. When I untar it, it's going to get in the conflict with the original folder, because it's going to try to overwrite it or whatever. So don't do that. Try to give it a different name. tar hyphen xvf. Okay, and then give it
Why
an.
are we using X?
Huh?
Why are we using X?
Oh yeah, I need to tell what X is. X stands for extract. X stands for right here. But how do I show you where the X is? Probably at the end of the file. Okay, here verbose. This is what it means. Verbose means verbosely list files processed. Where is X? Come on. Okay, it's uppercase X is different than lowercase x. Exclude from. I don't want to use the uppercase X. I'm looking at the smaller x. It's probably up here. Come on.
Does that mean extra?
No, extract. Extract
Oh,
means take it
went
out.
down. Yeah, it just went down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was uppercase X.
This one. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay.
This is F to archive it.
This.
Okay, here. -X stands for extract file from an archive. Arguments are optional, okay? That means extract means take it out.
Okay.
So what it's gonna do is tar -xvf big folder dot tar. Okay,
Fancy.
what I'm gonna do is this original folder that is sitting there, I'm gonna give it an old name, mv big folder, and I'm gonna give it a name _old. Okay, so it became the old folder here. So now what I'm gonna do is tar -xvf big folder dot tar. What I'll do is it will create the original folder in there. See?
Mr. Zafar, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you ran the tar command in the beginning, where you had the destination first and the source file afterwards, couldn't we do that same thing when we untar it,
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
-xff, and then the destination we could have just added like a one after it or something, where the big
Yeah,
folder
you
old?
could do that. Let's do that. Oh, is it gone? The folder is gone though. Oh no, oh, it keeps the old original folder. Oh God, it's getting a mess here. So what
I
I'm
think
gonna
that way might have been better, maybe.
Yeah. Big folder 01. Or you give it to the end, I think.
Or maybe we can use a redirector,
How
big
you
folder.tar redirector, and then big folder 01.
a redirector is for files. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it created the file though. Cat. It just put the output in it. So what it did was, let me just remove the old original folder. Yeah, it overwrote the original folder actually. So yeah, normally what you have to do is whatever the existing folder you have to rename it old, and then it will bring the original folder back to you. So let's see what happened here. I'm gonna remove. I'm gonna explain this again. Big folder underscore old. Right? So what you're doing here is you're renaming the original folder, and then you just have to run this command here, because this will bring the original folder back to you. So there is no way out of it. You have to move the folder away from it so that you could bring the new folder back. I mean the untar folder back here. So what you have to do is you have to this one got original folder renamed. Okay, and then this one is the command tar and then xvf. This is verbose. Okay, and this is a tar file. XVF stands for X stands for X is extract, verbose, okay, and hyphen F is folder. It's actually archive, but I'm just telling you folder here. Okay, don't worry about what archive is. Archive means actually you're archiving it. You're putting the archive records, things like that. But over here, you're not really. You're just using it right away. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, and then we'll take a break here, and then we'll come back here after the break, and then we'll continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Zafar, I ran the command that you just ran, and when I hit ls now, the big folder is still tarred.
Yeah, the big folder still remains. Yep. You should have 3 folders there now. big folder old, and big folder .tar. It's not like gzip that it
Okay.
goes away; it stays there.
Okay, because I had 3 first, and then I did the command that you
Yeah.
ran earlier with the rm-rf and deleted big folder.
Yeah. Everything is working for you. So, as
Okay,
expected,
so
it just won't go away. You know what I mean? It stays
yeah,
there.
but now when you type in ls, you have 2 directories and then the big folder .tar. When I type in ls, I only have big folder hyphen old that directory and then big folder .tar. So should I just create another
No,
copy
run
of the
this
big folder?
command tar hyphen xvf big folder .tar, and you will get another folder, big folder.
Okay, I did that. Let me try again. I did that already, and then I removed it. I removed rm because you had removed it earlier, so I removed it. So I'll just create another one then, I guess,
Yeah.
so that way I can match your screen. Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a good break here. We'll come back at 12:10. Okay, everybody be back at 12:10 Central. Okay, we'll take a break.
Okay.
Okay, so I know it's going to be a little challenging here, but it's very easy. Okay, you don't have to worry about too much. Just practice it a couple times and you should be good. Any questions so far regarding tar? Let me see if I could find a good image. Yes, I don't see anything important there. But anyway, so what you have here is um, I should. Okay, so what happened here is Okay, so this is for untarring. Untar. So here XVF stands for, so X is equal to extract. Okay, then V is equal to verbose, and then F is equal to what did I say? It's folder, right? Yeah. R is gonna be archive. Okay, and this one is same thing too. CVF. Create verbose. F is equal to folder. Archive. Okay. All right. That's tar and that's tar and zip and gzip. Okay, so you could use gzip, gunzip, and gzip, tar, and untar all together. But most of the time, you just remember tar is for the folders to make it like a one file, and after that you could zip it. So the idea is it's hard to, how you gonna zip the folder when you have so many multiple files in there, right? It's just not a pretty idea. What you have to do is you have to make it, you have to like combine everything and make it a bundle. Okay, after you do that, then you could shrink it. All right, so now the next command is stat.
So, Mr. Zafar, when we did the untar command, it created a directory.
Yeah, it
Basically,
created the original directory. Yeah.
yes, but it doesn't remove the tar folder. That still stays there.
Yeah, it still says there.
Okay.
Yeah. The original tar folder still stays there. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of confusing because when you do gunzip, that folder is gone, right? The file is gone, .gz. So I would expect the same thing, but it's not. Okay. All right, moving along. Go ahead and remove everything from your folder, rm-rf asterisk ls-l. You shouldn't have anything there. So go ahead and create a file, touch file 1, and hit enter. You do ls, the file is there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a command stat. Okay? If you type stat, S-T-A-T, and you do file 1. So what I'll do is stat file is it shows you a lot of details about a specific files. So we are dealing with one file here, file 1, but all these things are the information regarding the file. Okay, so stat folder, stat command, display detailed information regarding file or folder. Okay, important information to consider. Is inode. Okay, now I type stat and file 1 here, right? So file 1, this is the name of the file. Okay, the size is 0. But if you do ls-l, file 1, okay, so it's not doing, okay. So right now we just created a simple file. The size of the file is 0. And the blocks it is using is U0. It's not using any blocks. But the IO block it's using is 1024. 4K. I think I talked about 4K, right? Least amount of space file is using is 4K here. If you do du -h file 1, it should, oh, okay. Why is it not showing 4K? Let me just go ahead and add a line in there, okay? Okay. Okay, so now here's the name of the file, and the size is, actual size is 17 bytes here, but it's going to use the increment of 4096. Even though the actual the text we put in, this is file 1 or whatever, it's only 17 bytes, but the space on this is going to use is 4 kilobyte, that amounts to 4 blocks. So if I try to bring up blocks on disk. So let me look at the images here. And where is the good example here? Okay. I don't like this. So a disk, a blocks is, a disk is, it will have like a tiny, okay, here's the disk here. So each file, now there are like millions of blocks on the, there are millions of blocks on the hard drive, right? And each file is taking the increment of 4 blocks. No matter, the minimum it will take is 4 blocks. And the size of those blocks is 4096. That's 4 kilobyte. Okay, and here device means this is the location where this 8 block is sitting in here. So I mean, I'm sorry, no, this is the device information. It's a little harder to explain, but device information is, in the background the system writes the file in the format it understands. So this is the location where the file is sitting. No, I'm sorry, it's not the location. How do I explain this? So what the file is being used is being used as a device, okay? Is being represented as a device. So if you're moving right, and you have moving boxes, and on the moving boxes you put some kitchen stuff, and then in that box you label it kitchen drawer 1. Okay, that's what it's naming itself as a file 1. That means this is a device name associated with the file. Would that help you? Okay, so in everyday life you're not gonna worry about that much, but what you will need to know is the inode number. Inode number is the same thing. Instead of name, you could use the inode here. Find in the PWD -inode, and then if you give the number, it will find that file there. What? I just have to say I think. Find -I. No? Maybe iname?
Maybe if you remove the period, we just do find and then the inode.
Okay, why is it not finding it?
Can you try find and then -inode? Maybe that's where the mistake is, instead of iname, inode.
Yeah. Find aha, it's actually inum. Find -inum. Inum means inode number. There you go. It found it right up. And if you search it like our favorite /home, it's gonna give errors, but it does find it where it's at, and everything else is gonna be standard error. Okay, so this is the inode number. It's like it's a social security number that's assigned. If you delete this, is a
Where did you get that number from?
the system assigns it. System assigns it randomly.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
what-
if I delete the file, and then if I create touch file 1, and you see this inode number is not being used anymore. It will assign a new inode number, even though the name of the file is a same exact thing.
Okay.
But will we be able to still access the old inode
No.
number and see if it is there?
No, it's gone.
The contents are nothing.
No, because I deleted that file.
Okay. So that means it's permanently deleted.
Correct.
But what if there was some important information containing in that and we accidentally deleted it? So can we retrieve that?
No, you cannot unless the backup is set up. So there must be a third-party backup already set up before
Okay.
you really do it. But if you do it, it's gone. If there is no backup, then you're dead in water.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Zafar,
Yeah.
when you get a chance, can you explain the blocks setup again? Like when you find like a better picture, I guess you were trying to find the picture earlier for it.
Yeah.
But will you go into more detail with that when we go over this distribution, or that's not relative to this?
Actually, I will explain you when we do a logical volume disk manager. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So, and this is the inode, and this is the link. Every file have a link to itself. Okay. Your soul is a link to your body, right? So there is one link. That's how you should remember. And this is the permissions here. We have a big chapter regarding permissions. Okay, so this is read, write, read. I will go through that in much detail here. So this is the permissions part. And this part is a universal ID. We have a UID and GID. We have all these things is going to be part of the permissions chapter. Yeah, we'll come back to this, okay? And in here, the context, you have unconfined underscore U object. So this is related to SC Linux here. So this part won't be covered in this course here. So what all this means is I have to explain you SC Linux. So it's not a part of this course here, okay? But
Just want to understand one thing, sir. Is that means on a day-to-day, if I am sitting
no,
on
you're not
Java-
using this day to day. Only thing you're worried
Yeah.
about is this, the
Okay.
size of the file. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay. Just for knowledge purpose, you'll be
Yeah.
covering that part, right?
yeah, that part, yes.
Okay. So as a practical thing, it doesn't have anything to do with.
No, you're not. Day in and day out, you're not doing it. Only thing you're worried about is the size and inode number sometimes, and the permissions. So I will cover this in great detail what the permissions are. Okay, and
Assalamu alaikum. वालेकुम सलाम कहिए मेरा
Yeah.
फोन का काम है
Okay. So now this part is the access part, and it creates a timestamp when the file was accessed. Okay, and then modify is probably the same time as when the file was created. So if I go inside the file, vi file 1, and then let me quit and let me do stat again. So you see access means when you went inside the file, so it captured the timestamp, what hour, what minute, what second, and these are milliseconds. It goes down all the way to the billionth of a second. Is it true? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yeah, it goes all the way down to the billionth of a second here. Okay, why is it keeping track? Because if you have like a simultaneous transaction going on, like a stock exchange, right? Everybody, it will give you a timestamp for 1436, 1:42 p.m. and at 36 seconds your transaction happen. For example, you buying the stock, but in reality, it will also capture the billionth of a second, because it needs like all these numbers in a space to calculate what time the stock went in and all that. I mean, not just stock, your time and all these things matter in the computer world, timestamp and all that. Okay, and modify is probably the same thing as if I go into the file, change, add something and save and exit, it will capture that timestamp. Okay, and then it says change, when was it changed. So modify and change will probably have the same exact timestamp. Okay, so modify. So access has changed also. Why? Because I accessed the file. Modify has changed also when it was modified, and the change. Okay, now you see how there is a difference here. By the time I modified, save and exit, by the time it calculated when it was changed, there is a difference here, right? It is capturing the billionth of a second here. All this part is different than this part here. Okay, I think this information is good enough here, but let's talk about inode. Okay, inode, even though it says we just have a inode information here, right? This information is called inode information here. Okay, so I'm going to put down here inode information, what it does. Okay, it is a table on the disk holding the file information. Okay, and it has information regarding owner of the file, group of the file. So this is a group, the number you see here, group. Okay, and this is the owner. And the type of the file. Okay, and you know what, hold on, let me do the folder. mkdir dir1 stat dir1. Okay, so does it show the folder information here? Okay, it does. If you look over here, it says directory, and if you look over here, it says regular file. So it will tell you if it's a file or a folder. Okay, and then permissions. It has shows you the permissions, and it shows you date and time of the file modified and accessed, and it shows you links, number of links. Later on, I'll show you how to create more than one link to a file, okay? And then it will show you block information. So maybe if I type
Mr. Zafar, when we run this stat command, the access part is the permissions, right?
no. Access part is when you edited the file. Access is when you went
the one
inside the
above
file.
it.
If you just even went in there just to read it, then it's will have a timestamp in it. Maybe the cat will do it too.
No, the access above that one, the one in parentheses with the dr, rw, rw, that part. Is that for the permissions?
This part?
Yes.
Yeah, these are permissions.
Okay, so that's where we distinguish the permissions. Okay.
So I don't know why is it saying access. That means access means who have access to it.
Yeah, who has the permission to access it?
Yeah. That's a very interesting topic coming up once we are done with the basic. Okay, so now let's do cat file 1, and if I do stat file 1, yeah, it did change. Access, catting the file also means accessing it. As long as you're reading the content of the file, that means you have access the file. So access, and this was modified actually when you went in there and made any modifications. And the change probably will be change and modification will stay together, I think. Okay, so this is the block information. Birth, it should have it used to give the birth date 1969. I'll tell you later on what it means, but it's been removed here. So what you could do is stat file 1, stat directory.
Sir,
So yeah, go ahead.
what does this access denote?
I just mentioned that here. This one and this one.
Yeah.
All right, Mirza, can you tell him?
The bottom part of the access is letting you know when you accessed the file, the last time you accessed it, and the
Oh,
top part is for permissions, which Mr. Zafar is going to explain in more detail later.
okay. Okay.
Okay, now the directory has two links. Why would a directory have two links? Okay, the file has at least by default one link here, and the directory has two links here. So what is that link here is if you go into dir1 and if you do ls-a, these two dots is actually a link to this directory here, previous directory. That's why what you do is when you do ... it goes outside.
Oh, okay. So that is basically the path.
Path, exactly. Now it should cement your understanding. Okay?
Okay.
It would have been difficult earlier on to tell you it's a link to itself. But no, it is a link to the directory. So by default, file has one link, directories has two links. Okay, and these are the permissions, and this is the access. So I'm gonna not highlight that part here. Okay, so okay, now if you want to find, so if you want to find using the inode, you could definitely use the inode either for the file or the folder here. So if you copy the find hyphen inum, it will find the directory, and then if you do inum here using the inode number, and it will find the file for you. Any questions?
How significant is it in our daily work environment?
Yeah, you may be using it pretty good amount of time, because there may be same name of the file somewhere else in another directory. Okay?
Oh, okay, I got it.
So there may be two Zafars in this class, but there must be something different about those two guys. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just the phone number would be different. I just imagine that as a phone number.
Okay.
Professor,
So if I have like
So in a work environment where we are connected to hundreds of systems, so we'll be finding so many of them with the same name and same, almost with the same contents or something
Yeah.
like that, or yeah. Okay. So this just
In-
defines the exact file that we are looking for.
yeah, then you give the file, then you find out the inode number,
Okay.
and then you know what specific file you're dealing with.
Okay.
So it's like a social security number of the file.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same.
If the file dies, that number is retired. It's not going to be used. Okay, I thought you may be able to use stat.
ओलिविया बुक लो, आपके इसे बुक का है, इसे बुक ले लेके आओ, दूसरे और एक लेके आओ.
You passed it up, Mr. Zafar. It said inode number.
It did?
When you ran the, yeah, you did. When you scroll down a little bit, it said something and then inode number on the side. It told you which switch to run. Right there, SI, I think.
Right
Or
here.
no, it's the parenthesis sign and then I.
Yeah, the percentage I.
Percentage, sorry. Yeah, percentage sign.
I'm not using any other format. What I'm using is just use this find inum and then the number. Okay, I think we completed did we I'll check if I have any more commands. I mean, today would be the end of the basic command. Starting tomorrow, then we'll move into other parts. Okay.
Can we do a retrospection of tomorrow, the complete thing that you have taught till today?
Yeah, I will do.
Next week, freshly, we can start the admin thing.
I'll decide tomorrow. Maybe I'll go through because I have to start this year. We already kind of.
Because of everyone has missed something. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, everybody come back tomorrow with any questions, and we'll go in detail how to figure things out here. So
Yes,
in
so-
here, I put down the basic commands, the redirector and the find command. I put it out separately. But if you go into the basic commands, this will be all the basic commands will be there. But here's the thing: a main document, and it's the same exact document is going to be in the PDF format if you want to download and save it later on. But this main doc will have like everything from day one to last day. They will have like everything you hear that is split up, the assignments and everything. Okay, any questions? Feel free to put it in the chat. If not, then we'll catch up tomorrow.
Yes, I will have a question, but I put on the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
I want to test Barbara back.